Jewish law is a term given to different legal arrangements that were made by Jewish communities throughout the world, from biblical time to the present. So it covers all areas of daily life: private law, public law, criminal law, civil law, torts. Everything can be covered by Jewish law. Jewish law was not the law of the state. In fact, it never was, because the history of the Jewish people is such that they did not have their own state for over 2,000 years. So Jewish law was developed without having a state where it was enforced. So throughout the ages, it was basically voluntarily followed by Jewish communities. And in some cases, the local authorities recognized Jewish law to some extent, but it was never recognized fully. So in most cases, Jewish law is a theoretical legal system rather than a practical legal system. The irony is that nowadays, the number of people who study Jewish law in different institutions is without precedent. And the irony is that they study it although it is not practical. In fact, Western law, to a great extent, is influenced by Jewish law. Because you must remember that in the Western world, the Judeo-Christian tradition is very influential. And so Jewish law, in many ways, I think, found its way into Western law. But nowadays there is a growing interest in Jewish law because people feel that American law or the Western legal system can be informed and improved if it will be open to other legal systems. And one of them is Jewish law. Because Jewish law is indeed very different from Western law. I think one important distinction between the two systems is the following. The Western law has developed along the idea of the rule of law. The rule of law, among other things, says that judges have to rule in accordance with a set of rules given to them in advance. In Jewish law, this value is not so much respected. That is to say, judges have the power, the freedom, the right, the obligation sometimes even, to depart from the rules that they have in front of them and decide the case according to their own discretion, without being able to ground it in any pre-existing set of rules. So in this regard, judges have much greater power in Jewish law than they have in theory in Western law. Now, I'm not saying that in Western law judges don't exercise their discretion. Obviously they do. But the theory, at least, is such that they have to be limited by the norms. And in Jewish law, the theory is that they have much greater power. And I think this is a big difference between the two systems.